Your friend's stuck in a giant dark pit, and they shout out from the bottom, "I'm stuck! It's dark and I'm scared!" Sympathy stands at the top of the hole, looks down and says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened. Oh, that looks scary." Empathy climbs down into the pit with them and says,
"Understand how scary this is. You're not alone."
Empathy and sympathy are not the same, but both are important in healthy relationships. Through my own personal journey, I've come to realize that even the most sympathetic and empathetic people can still struggle with how to communicate these traits effectively. That's why I created the PALS method. It's a simple acronym for 4 steps that helps you communicate sympathy and empathy in an intentional manner. Here's the timestamp if you want to just skip to the PALS method. Because before I get to the actual process, I'm going to discuss what empathy and sympathy are at their core, the difference between empathy and sympathy, how these traits are learned, why both are important in healthy relationships, and how even people with the best intentions can use these traits ineffectively. So first, we have to blow up the huge myth that empathy and sympathy are the same, because they're completely different. Sympathy is when you notice that someone is having a hard time and you want to be kind and caring toward them. You understand that they're hurting, but you don't actually feel what they're feeling. Empathy is often something we learn as we grow up. Parents, teachers, and other adults teach us ways to show kindness when someone is sad, hurt, or having a difficult time. It can become a natural way to respond to others. Empathy is when you try to understand how another person feels by imagining what it's like to be in their situation. It's like putting yourself in their shoes and seeing the world through their eyes. Empathy takes more practice because it means listening carefully, paying attention to feelings, and trying not to judge. Instead of just noticing someone's emotions, you try to understand and share them. Both empathy and sympathy matter. If you only use empathy, you might take on so many other people's feelings that you become emotionally tired. But if you only use sympathy, you might seem distant or make other people feel like you don't fully understand them. When you use both sympathy and empathy effectively, you can understand how someone feels and show them kindness and support. And this helps people feel heard, understood, and cared for. Both can be applied in manners that are meant to be helpful and drive connection, but actually do the complete opposite and cause disconnection. Sympathy loves to slap a silver lining on a problem, and it can be really annoying. You share something painful, and the immediate response is, "Well, at least." For example, I was out with a couple friends at lunch. There were 3 of us, and one of my friends unfortunately shared that she had suffered a miscarriage. And our other friend, who is so positive all the time and really wants the best, was trying to help by saying, "Well, at least you know you can get pregnant." Another time, the 3 of us were together, and one of my friends shared that they felt their marriage was falling apart. And again, a very positive friend slapped a silver lining on and said, "Well, at least you still have a marriage to work towards." These responses, even if they mean well, are totally useless, and they rarely make anything better. And one of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to be empathetic is being a fixer. And this is me. I struggle with this, which is one of the reasons I created this method. Someone tells you a problem, and your brain wants to jump in with a solution, give advice, tell a story, explain how you can relate. But trying to fix it almost never helps things. Because most of the time, people aren't looking for a magic fix. They just want to be heard and not feel alone in the dark pit. What I've learned, and why I created the PALS method, is to help create empathetic and sympathetic responses for receipt, not just relief. For example, a positive person trying to be sympathetic may slap on that silver lining, "Well, at least," because it makes them feel better, or it makes them feel like they're helping. They're doing it for their relief. Because it didn't help, and the person didn't receive it and feel better or feel supported. The ultimate empath, like myself, whose passion is helping others, may try to fix it. But is that person looking for a solution or just to be heard? Was the response for my relief or for their receipt? This is where the PALS method can help. It's a simple 4-step solution that will help create empathetic and sympathetic responses that are meant for receipt, not relief. PALS stands for pause, ask, listen, support. That's it. I call it this not because I think you should be BFFs with everybody. The reason I call it PALS is because it's a reminder that the quality of life is directly tied to the quality of our relationships across all platforms of life, personal, professional, situational. When you treat people in a friendly way, consistently respectful, approachable, and proactive instead of reactive in conversations, responding with the purpose of receipt instead of relief, makes us feel better about ourselves while also building trust with others because they know what to expect from you. This acronym is a cheat code that you can use in any conversation. It breaks the massive art of effective communication into 4 steps you can actually remember. It will literally shift you from reacting to truly connected. Step 1. This might be the hardest one in our crazy world. It's to pause. Before you say anything, just stop. Take 1 breath. That's it. The simple act creates a huge space between what they said and what you're about to say. In an emotional conversation, our brains are wired to run from pain, but a pause lets you hijack that impulse to fix it, dismiss it, or make it about you. This isn't an empty pause, though. It's an active one. Use it to tune in, to pay attention to everything, not just the words. Look at their body language, their face, the tone of their voice. Imagine your coworker says,
"Yeah, don't worry, I'll get it done."
but their voice is dead and empty, and they look completely defeated. A relief reaction would be, "Oh, cool, thanks," and leave. But if you pause, you give yourself 1 second to notice the huge gap between their words and their vibe. You see the signs that they're completely overwhelmed. The pause shifts you from just hearing their words and that you see what's really going on. After you've paused and observed, step 2 is to ask. And this isn't an attack, it's an invitation. You're giving them an invitation to share more, but only if they want to. The secret is asking open-ended questions that don't make assumptions. Let's go back to our coworker. We don't want to say, "Ooh, you look super stressed," because that's an assumption. And maybe they're not stressed. Maybe they just have a headache. Instead, try a gentle, open-ended question like, "How are things going with your workload?" The best questions start with how or what. Think, "How did that feel?" or "What was that like for you?" These questions hand over the microphone and show you're there to understand their experience, not just label it. A pro tip is to avoid why questions, like, "Why are you so upset?" Because this can sound like an attack and put people on the defense. You're not digging for secrets, you're opening a door for them. When someone shares something personal or emotional, I've also learned to ask, "Do you want to vent or actually talk this through?" This has helped me stop from doing what I need, being the fixer, and offering unwarranted advice, to instead listening to what the person actually needs from the conversation. And that brings us to step 3. And this is the most important step of all. It's listen. And I mean listen for real. This is not the fake listening where you're just waiting for your chance to talk. Nobody likes that. This means putting your phone down, turning away from your computer, looking at them in the eyes and giving them 100% of your attention. The absolute hardest part of this is turning off your own brain. As they're talking, your brain will be going crazy trying to think of solutions, planning what you're going to say next, or thinking about a time something similar happened to you. You have to fight that urge. Your only job right now is to absorb. Listen for the emotion that's hiding behind the words. Is it frustration? Disappointment? Fear? You don't have to have lived their exact life to get it. We've all been sad. We've all been angry. You're basically being a mirror, reflecting their feelings back so they finally feel seen. Before I give you the final step that ties all of this together, if you're getting any value out of this video, I'd love it if you hit subscribe because it's free for you, but it could help spread this video and get it in front of somebody who really needs it. Okay. The final step, after you've paused, asked, and listened, step 4 is to support. This is where you actually show them you get it. This is the step that makes connection happen. And you do not need to give some amazing, perfect speech. The best responses are actually super simple. It's all about showing you recognize their emotion and validating their experience. Now listen, validating their feelings doesn't mean you agree with them. It just means you're acknowledging their feelings are real and make sense to them. You can say things like, that sounds insanely difficult. I can totally relate to how frustrating that may be, or it makes 100% sense that you would feel that way. Sometimes the most powerful response is admitting you don't have one. Dr. Brene Brown says that instead of trying to make things better, it's way more powerful to say, I don't even know what to say right now, but I'm just so glad that you shared that with me. That one sentence screams, I hear you and I'm with you. Your pain isn't a problem I need to solve. It tells them they're not alone in the pit. So back to the coworker. After they tell you how overwhelmed they are, a supportive response is not,
okay, here's a 5-step plan to fix your life.
A supportive response is, thank you for sharing that with me. It sounds like you're under an immense amount of pressure right now, and I completely understand that you're feeling overwhelmed. Just know I'm here for you. That validates, expresses gratitude, and offers support without fixing. So that's it, the PALS method. Simple 4-step hack to help you strengthen your relationships by deepening trust and creating responses meant for receipt, not just relief. Pause to ground yourself and observe. Ask with genuine curiosity. Listen with your full attention and support by validating their feelings. You will not be a master at this overnight. It'll take practice. It's a skill you have to level up. You're literally rewiring your brain to choose connection over reaction. But every single time you use this framework, you're strengthening that new pathway in your brain, and the results will change your entire life. You'll build stronger relationships, you'll be a better leader, and you'll crush conflict. All right, self-mastery mates, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which step of the PALS framework are you going to work on first to start unleashing your limitless potential? P, A, L, or S? Drop it in the comments. And if this helped you, please share this video with one person you think it'll help too. All right, till next time, take care of yourself.